the one I want to get into, and I'm going to go right back to Crispy on this one, is okay. So look, Horizon Zero Dawn or Horizon Lego was announced. I think it looks freaking cool. I can't say for everybody because again, I'm a big old nerd. I love platformers. I love the Lego games. I like family stuff. I grew up on it. It's still celebrated, which is why I'm so excited for Astrobot. I know people are like, yeah, boo, whatever. PS5 sucks. I get all of that, but I'm there day one. That game looks phenomenal, and some of the new information that they put out on it just looks really good. So Lego Horizon is announced, and that's done at Summer Games Fest, which is shocking, but it was there. I was ass in seats. I was there when it was announced. The shocking part of it was that it was announced for Switch, which I honestly believe, but I'm here to tell you, and if I'm wrong, I will stand in front of the class and say so. It's going to sell better on the Switch than on the PS5. Crispy, I'm telling you right now it's going to. But the big question is, why wasn't this on Xbox as well? Like, do you like money, Sony? Do you like to make money? Because I guarantee you, I would have bought it. I'm not buying it on PS5. I'm probably going to buy it on the Switch. Because, like I said, I own, like, between multiple platforms, every Lego game that's just about ever released. I love them. Do I beat all of them? No, they are long. But I buy all the deluxe editions. I get all the DLC. I run around. There's all the different characters. I freaking love it. So I'm buying this for sure. But I would have definitely really enjoyed playing it on the Series X, because that's where I like to play games. So Stephen Totilo, if you didn't know who he is I'd say Stephen's a prominent member of the community. He's a journalist. He's had numerous, publications that he is, his startups that he's done. But I don't have his article because it's behind a paywall. So I did wind up finding the article that was written by Windows Central. And another journalist that I like a lot, Samuel Tolbert, is the one that wrote this. This was posted just the other day. And the title is PlayStation Responds on Why It's Bringing Lego Horizon Adventures to Nintendo Switch, but not Xbox. So it goes on to say this. Now, okay, what I love about Windows Central, and I've said this before, is before you start to read the article, they have a what you need to know section. I love that because it really does kind of lay out what you're going to be reading and what we're specifically going to be talking about, Crispy. So this is what it has to say about what you need to know. Lego Horizon Adventures is an upcoming Lego version of PlayStation and Guerrilla Games' Horizon franchise. Co-developed by Guerrilla Games and Studio Gobo, Lego Horizon Adventures features classic Lego humor and shenanigans with brick-based recreation of machines like the Tallneck and the Thunderjaw. Lego Horizon Adventure is launching later in 2024 on PlayStation 5, Windows PC, and Nintendo Switch, but not Xbox consoles or PlayStation 4. Speaking with Stephen Totilo for GameFile, and that's the name of his website, the developers stated that they don't really have anything to announce about Xbox right now, which basically tells me, Crispy, yeah, we're not announcing it today because we don't want to get the smoke from our fans. We'll announce it next year. That's exactly what I'm taking on it. But let me just read the two paragraphs here. It says, speaking with Totilo for his one-man newsletter, GameFile, where he also talks about the making of upcoming PlayStation 5 titles like Astrobot, Guerrilla Games narrative director James Windler noted that the game was meant to push the PlayStation 5 hardware and look as amazing as it possibly could on the console. I really hate when they say that because all I think back is to Ratchet and Clank and, the SSD and you need it. And they should know not to talk like that. It's a Lego game. It's going to look freaking good on the PS5. I think it would look great on the PS4, but whatever. But this is where it gets a little pointed. When asked by Totilo about why it's coming to Nintendo Switch, Windler explained that the decision that helped the team go after the Nintendo Switch was that it has a family-friendly audience and a younger audience that would otherwise have not been possible on other platforms. Upon being asked about Xbox, however, Crispy says Windler simply says, we don't really have anything to announce about Xbox right now, which basically tells me that's coming. And so is a Spider-Man. I'm a die on this hill here. Spider-Man 2018, 2025 Xbox. I'm probably wrong as all hell, but I will take the L because I believe that Sony likes money. But I want to keep it Lego. Let's talk about the PS5 needing. I mean, look, the statement doesn't make any sense, and this is where I kind of give them some smoke. Like, you're releasing it on the PS5 because you want it to look great, but it's also releasing on the Switch. How does that even make sense? I mean, you could run a Switch on a calculator, for crying out loud. That's how old that tech is. Let's get your hot take, man.
That was great because, I mean, like, seriously, I mean, you want to talk about a potato. You can't call the Series S a potato when it comes to the Switch. I'm sorry, dude. Like,
and I play the Switch every day, 7 days a week.
It's an audience. I mean, there's an audience there, and the one thing they go for is games that look like the Horizon, the Lego. So, I mean, it makes total sense. I think it's almost a justification for Sony to make this game, and I mean, let's be honest, Guerrilla, when it comes to Horizon, I mean, VR, all these other games that are involved, did I laugh at a lot of it? Because I was like, this is poking fun at themselves, which it's pretty funny. So I thought it looked good for what it is. Could it run on a PS4? Yeah.
If it's gonna run on a Switch, brother, it can run on a PS4.
Well, why are they locking this one behind? It's not like they were like throwing the SSD and all this other stuff out there. It's like, no, we're gonna release it on Switch, and it's like, okay, but why is it on PS4? And then the Xbox thing, who knows? Maybe it shows up on Game Pass. Wouldn't that be funny? That's the way I'm thinking.
I mean,
think
MLB The Show is on Game Pass, brother. So
I'm really thinking that he said that because Xbox is going to announce it. Because if it's not on the Sony stage and Xbox does it, they'll it'll be like kind of like nobody's looking at it. Like quite like they would if it was a state of play. You know what I'm saying? Like state of play is not going to be, hey, it's coming to Xbox Game Pass. It's going to be, like. Maybe you're lucky and it says, end of the year, or like maybe they're like dev direct and they're like, oh yeah, we have this one studio that's bringing this to Game Pass. You know what I mean? Like you don't know, but I feel like it's kind of what Xbox said about, what is it? Wukong or whatever the heck it's called. Like, hey,
Black Myth Wukong.
Yes. Yeah. So, they're like, we're not going to speak for our partners. That's kind of the speak that I just saw from this. So,
yes, me too. Mm-hmm.
And it's like, I mean, at the end of the day, if Xbox threw him a little bag and said, hey, like, yeah, we don't care if it goes on Switch. We don't care what you do with it. Just bring it on Game Pass. They're not going to say anything, regardless of what you think. I mean, it sounds a little petty at times, but I mean, in realism, if you got, some money from a company and you're going to do it anyway, why not let them do it when they want to? And I think that comes down to like the crazy amount of games we're about to get in the next, like, I would say 2 years, right before like some of these games are going to get ported immediately over to whatever Xbox brings out in 2026.
What are your thoughts? The ridiculousness.
Well, the funny thing is the Sony representative is probably trying to save face so that way, they don't upset their fans. But their fans have already rejected this game as being a PlayStation game kind of thing. And the fact that, when people were asked, oh, was it a, Horizon game? And they're like, well, no, Guerrilla was coerced to do this. And it's like,
They were forced at gunpoint, make this game or else.
And then they came out and said no, they wanted to do something along these lines, and that they wanted to put it on the Switch. So the reason why they're putting it on the Switch is because they want it to sell. It's probably, like you said earlier, it's probably not going to sell as well on the PS5. Yeah, there'll be some PS5 owners that buy it, the same ones that probably have Zero Dawn, the upres. Wait, did they do the remaster for Zero? No, they haven't done that yet. But the same ones that will buy the Zero Dawn remaster and then have Forbidden West and the DLC and everything will probably pick this up on their PS5. Everybody else and their grandma will probably pick it up on the Switch. Would it make sense to put it on Xbox? At this point, if you're going to put it on Switch, why not? But it also bears the question of why didn't they put it on the PS4? PS4 is more powerful than the Switch, and at least 50% of your player base is still on a PS4. So this feels like a half step. And unless there was some small print somewhere saying PS4 coming later or whatever. But yeah, this just feels weird. I know Hiroki Totoki likes money. He was the big proponent of them, bad mouthing the studios on not how they don't know business or how to make money. They make great games, but they don't know how to make money. This feels like a backward step, because if that's the case, PS4 would have made perfect sense, because you've already had to do a Switch port. So there's 50% of your player base. So PS5 players don't seem to buy this type of game. I could be wrong, but we'll see. And Switch players will probably, it'll be something like a ridiculous 8 million copies or something sold on the Switch, just for the fact that it's a Lego game kind of thing. But will it come to Xbox? It's a possibility. I think they're so scared to make this next move as far as putting things on Xbox.
Yeah.
Although it's if the whole GeForce Now and Steam thing keeps on going the way it is, eventually at some point you will be able to play Spider-Man via those cloud services on your Xbox. Although right now I think they put some sort of blockage on it, but at some point they're going to look at this and be like, it's silly to put a block on it. It's just preventing us from making more money. Although on those, they've already made their money on those games sold on Steam and stuff like that. But, there's Helldivers 2, which is, still losing players. They're at some point, they have to realize that more Xbox players play MLB than PlayStation players do right now. So I think if they want to keep on bringing in revenue on games that may have already, I wouldn't say expired, but reached their peak on the PlayStation, whether it be on the PS4 or PS5. I think it's time to look at other platforms beyond just PC and beyond just, the Switch, which I guess if they're not going to go Xbox next, then there's always maybe Meta Quest 2 and 3, which you can play Game Pass on already. But, they got to figure out something in the long term if they're going to have some of these smaller games pay for the bigger games that they're already over budget on a lot of stuff, especially from the leaked documents we saw from Insomniac. But I figure if PlayStation comes to their senses as far as revenue in the modern gaming space, I think we'll probably see this at some point on Xbox. I think we'll see, things like Helldivers 2 on Xbox, but, if they don't hurry up with that, it stands to, I wouldn't say die, but like a lot of those games may not, especially Helldivers, may not do much better for too much longer. I mean, look at Foam Stars, which didn't even come to PC, and you see how that ended up. And we got Concord, which at least is coming to PC, and I don't know if the PlayStation base is going to really support that. Like Lawbreakers didn't do well over there, so I don't see why Concord would. I could be wrong. I know a lot of Destiny fans like some of the gameplay aspects that they saw of it, but when they finally get into it, and if it's not like Destiny and they just go back to playing Destiny, yeah, that's a DOA kind of thing. But Lego. Maybe there's a behind the scenes thing where Lego does just like the MLB and says, hey, you know what? We want this everywhere. We want that extra money because they're not coughing up enough licensing dollars. So although I guess maybe Switch might cover the big spread of that. But yeah, it'd be nice to have it over here. But there's a lot of Xbox guys I already saw saying you keep it. We don't need it. We got enough Lego games over here. But we'll see. Hopefully, PlayStation comes to their senses in that regard, and we'll see what they do next as far as more multi-plat titles. It seemed like they said they weren't going to do multi-plats after Herman Hulse said what he said, and then the very next state of play, with the exception of Astrobot, everything came to PC day and date. So
yep,
I don't know. Maybe their communication department is kind of going backwards while Xbox's communication department is getting better. Maybe they're like passing each other on the sliding scale or something. So we'll see how it all ends up.